Hello everyone, I'm Sari Sulfikar and today I'm going to solve the past papers of ICATS Science Contest year 2025 for grade 7 and 8. Question number 1. After a snowstorm, Grandpa sprinkled salt on the icy front steps to melt the ice. How does salt help melt ice? Option A is it makes the ice darker, which is not correct because ice does not change the color of the ice. Option B is it makes the freezing point of water lower. So let's discuss this point. Basically, the water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius, and we say the 0 degrees Celsius is the freezing point for the plain water. But when we sprinkle the salt on the ice mixes with the tiny layers of water on the ice. The water becomes then salt water. Salt water freezes at the colder temperature than plain water. Like instead of freezing at 0 degrees Celsius, it might need to be minus 5 degrees Celsius or even colder to freeze. So if it's minus 2 degrees Celsius outside, that is cold enough for a plain water to be ice, but it is not cold enough for the salt water to stay frozen. The salt makes the ice melt into the salt water and it cannot refreeze easily because the freezing point is now lower. So our option B is the correct option. We can discuss the other two options as well. Option C is it heats up when sprinkled. It is not the major or primary reason. Option D is it scares the cold away. Of course, it's not right. So we'll say that option B is the correct option here. Question number 2. For a school engineering contest, Anya teams had to build a strong yet lightweight bridge from balsa wood. They designed a structure with many interlocking triangles instead of simple squares. Using triangles in their design primarily increased the bridge's option A, aesthetic appeal, which is not right because that is not the main focus for engineering strength. Option B is surface area that does not directly contribute to stability in this context. So option B cannot be chosen. Option C is structural stability, which is our correct option because triangles are rigid shapes that distribute forces evenly and prevent the structure from bending or collapsing under load. So that's why we'll select option C here. The last option is weight capacity. It may improve as a result of stability, but stability is the key factor over here according to the question. So we will select option C. Question number 3. Ahmed noticed that his phone battery drained faster in cold weather and when using navigation apps. His friend said it was because both cold temperatures and GPS usage required more power. Which factor actually increases battery drain? So option A is cold weather slows chemical reactions. When it's cold, this chemical reaction inside the battery gets slower and weaker. Because the reaction is weaker, the battery cannot supply a power as well, so it drains faster and might even shut off. When you use GPS, it's like making your phone's brain work very hard, and doing hard work uses a lot of power, which also drains the battery quickly. So both things drain the battery, but they do it in different ways. The answer that explains one of the main reason is option A, that is cold weather slows chemical reactions. Let's check the other options as well. Option B is GPS uses satellite signals that cool the phone, which is not right because GPS signals do not cool the phone. Instead, GPS usage generates heat from increasing processor activities. So option C is cold weather charges the battery faster, which is also false because cold weather actually slows down charging and reduces battery efficiency. Option D is navigation apps create electromagnetic interference, which is not the basic reason. Electromagnetic interference from navigation app is minimal and does not significantly impact battery drain. So we will select option A here. Question number 4. A wave is a pattern of motion that carries energy. When a wave travels through matter, the matter is called medium. Ali is playing with a spring toy. Energy from his hand is transferred to the spring toy, creating a wave. As the wave moves through the spring toy, the coils in the spring toy move back and forth. Select all the true statements. Statement 1 is the coils in the spring toy move up and down, which is false because coils move back and forth, not up and down. So statement 2 is Ali transfers energy to the spring toy. That is correct because energy from Alice's hand is transferred to the spring toy to create the wave. The statement 3 is the wave carries energy through the spring toy. That is also correct because as waves are defined as patterns of motion that carry energy. The fourth statement is the spring toy is the medium the wave travels through. So here this is also true because the wave travels through the matter of the spring toy, which is the medium. So we can say statements 2, 3 and 4 are correct. So we will select option D here. Question number 5. While learning to swim, Maria noticed the pool always looked shallower than it actually was. Her coach explained this was a common optical effect. The pool appears shallower due to option A is water pressure distortion, option B is light refraction at the water surface, option C is chlorine affecting vision, option D is reflection of pool bottom. So the pool appears shallower than it actually is due to the light refraction at the water surface. When light travels from air to water, it bends because light moves slower in water than in air. So this bending of light makes the bottom of the pool look closer to the surface. So the water seems shallower. This is a common optical effect and not caused by water pressure, chlorine or reflection. So we will select option B here. The light reflection at the water surface makes the pool appear shallower. Question number 6. The human body is made of smaller parts organized to work together. In this way, the human body is like an orchestra. An orchestra is a large and organized group of musicians working together to make beautiful music. Each musician plays an instrument like a violin or a clarinet. Musicians who play similar instruments are organized into sections, such as strings or woodwinds. Each section produces a unique sound. When the sections play together in harmony, they produce dynamic music. Just like an orchestra is made up of many musicians, the human body is made up of many cells. Each cell has a specific job. Cells that do similar jobs are organized into tissues. Tissues are organized into organs and organs are organized into organ systems. Together, organ systems carry out the functions of life in the human body. Select all the true statements. First statement is organs are made up of tissues, which is correct because it is written in the paragraph that the tissues are organized into organs. The second statement is the human body is made up of smaller parts working together. That is also true because it's mentioned in the passage as well that the cells, tissues, organs and organ systems work together. Then third statement is all cells in the human body do the same job. So this is incorrect because the passage says that each cell has a specific job and cells with the similar jobs form tissues. The fourth statement is tissues that do similar jobs are organized into cells. So this is false because it's mentioned in the passage that the cells are organized into tissues, not the other way around. So we will select option A here. Only first and second statements are correct. Question number 7. Martin shines a torch on a globe. It models the sun shining on the earth. What time of day it would be on the earth at place A? Option A is 12 noon, option B is 3 p.m., option C is 6 a.m. and option D is midnight. So place A is exactly opposite of the torch which is representing sun here, and this is the brightest time of the day. So we will select option A here. The time of the day it would be on the earth at place A is 12 noon. Question number 8. The following table shows data about how the temperature of each bottle of soda changed over 25 minutes. So here we can see that the brown bottle, its initial temperature was 19 degrees Celsius and final temperature was 25 degrees Celsius. Then for the clear bottle, the initial temperature is 19 degrees Celsius and final temperature is 22 degrees Celsius. Based on the above data, which of the following can be concluded? So based on the data from the table, both bottles started at the same initial temperature, which was 19 degrees Celsius. But after some time, The brown bottle reached 25 degrees Celsius, a change of 6 degrees Celsius basically, while the clear bottle reached 22 degrees Celsius, which is a change of 3 degrees Celsius. This means the brown bottle experienced more temperature increase in the same time period, including that the thermal energy was transferred more rapidly or more faster into the brown bottle. So we can say that the thermal energy was transferred more slowly into the clear bottle. So here we can see the three statements. The first statement is thermal energy was transferred more slowly into the brown bottle, which is incorrect because the brown bottle heated up faster. So, and the second statement is thermal energy was transferred more slowly into the clear bottle, which is our correct option because as we can see, the clear bottle had a smaller temperature change, which is 3 degrees Celsius. Then thermal energy was transferred into both bottles at the same rate. So that is not correct because we can see the temperature changes are different for brown bottle and clear bottle. So we will select option B here. The second option is correct. Question number 9, Martin is making a model of Earth, Sun and Moon. He collects some objects that can be used to model the Earth, Sun and Moon. Martin uses his model to show what causes day and night. How can Martin show what causes day and night using his model? Option A is spin the Earth on its axis. Option B is spin the Sun on its axis. Option C is move the Earth around the Sun. Option D is move the Sun around the Earth. So day and night are caused because the Earth spins around like a top. The part of the Earth which is facing the Sun, it's daytime over there, and the part of the Sun which is away from the Sun, it's around night time over there. So in the model to show this, Martin needs to spin the Earth on its axis. So we can say the correct option is option A. The correct way to show day and night is spin the Earth on its axis. Whereas spinning the Sun does not cause our day and night, and moving the Earth around the Sun is what gives us the year and different seasons, not day and night. So we will select option A here. Question number 10, Jamal is thinking about how to keep ice cubes from changing into water on a hot day. Jamal says, I think if you put the ice cubes inside lots of plastic bags, they will stay frozen for longer. What sort of statement Jamal has made? Option A is an observation. An observation basically involves directly noting facts or events such as seeing the ice cubes melt. So he has not observed anything, so we will not select option A. Option B is a conclusion. It would be like a result or a judgment that is made after an experiment or investigation. But he has not done anything like that, so we will not select option B as well. Then option C is a prediction. Yes, it can be a prediction because a prediction is a statement about what might happen in the future on the basis of the reasons or your prior knowledge. And usually we use the phrases like I think or I predict for a prediction. So here he has said that I think if you put the ice cubes inside the lots of plastic bags, they will stay frozen for longer. So it is definitely a prediction. Option D is a measurement. A measurement involves qualifying data such as timing, how long ice cubes took to melt. So he has not taken any measurement, so we will select option C here. Use the following information to answer questions 11 and 12. Jamal puts 5 ice cubes in different numbers of plastic bags. He records the time it takes for the ice cubes to change to water. So the number of plastic bags is 0. Then the time for ice to change to water is 140 minutes. When he used one plastic bag, the time was 160 minutes. Then for 2 plastic bags, the time is 205 minutes. And for 3 plastic bags, the time is 225 minutes. Question number 11. Name the process that describes the change from ice to water. Option A is melting. So melting occurs when a solid such as ice absorbs the heat energy and transitions into a liquid state, which is water in this case. So yes, option A is the correct option. But let's check the other options as well. Option B is freezing. which is a reverse process for melting, so we'll not select it. It turns the water into the ice. So option C is evaporation. It involves liquid water which is turned into water vapors. And option D is condensation. It involves water vapors turning into liquid water. So here the process of changing ice to water is melting. Question number 12. The plastic bags dash the ice cubes, making them take longer to melt. So option A is dissolved, option B insulated, option C heated, and option D is evaporated. The plastic bags acted as insulators, which reduced the transfer of heat from the surrounding environment to the ice cubes. So this slowed down the heat transfer that caused the ice cubes to take longer to melt, and it is mentioned through the data as well that if we increase the plastic bags, it slows down the melting time. So the correct option is insulated. So we'll select option B here. Question number 13. After the baby turtles hatch, they go towards the sea. They know which way to go because they can see moonlight reflecting on the water. Light sources in nearby towns can confuse baby turtles. They may go in the wrong direction towards the town. If they do not find the sea, the baby turtles may die. What would people do at night to help the baby turtles to find the sea? So, to help the baby turtles find the sea after they hatch, it is important to reduce or minimize the artificial light that can confuse them because baby turtles naturally move towards the brightest horizon, which is usually the sea under the moonlight. So, lights from the towns can just distract them, which can cause them to move eyes towards the inlands where they may die or they might be in dangers. So option A is turn off the street lights in towns. That would be the most effective and direct action to help the baby turtles. In this way, their attention will not be diverted towards the city. Option B is stop car driving near the beach. Option C is turn off lights on the ship. It can be useful if the ships are to near the shore. Otherwise, there is no use of it because the major issue is the lights from the towns. Option D is open curtains. It will definitely increase the light source in the town, so it will just make the problem worse. So we will select option A here, turn off street lights in towns. Question number 14. The astronauts investigate plants in the space station. The plants grow in a special jelly instead of soil. The jelly contains the things plants need to grow. What things from the jelly do the plants need to take in through the roots? Option A is water and light. Option B is water and nutrients. Option C is nutrients and air. And option D is air and water. So we know that the plants need water and nutrients to grow and they absorb these basic things through their roots. It is given in the paragraph that in the space station, the special jelly replaces the soil and provides these essential things to plants. And the light usually is absorbed through the leaves for photosynthesis. And roots cannot absorb the light in the same way as it can do with the water and nutrients. So we can say that option B, the water and nutrients will be absorbed through the roots from the jelly. Question number 15. Which letter shows the layer of earth that is extremely hot, yet high pressure keeps it from melting? So the layer of the earth that is extremely hot but prevented from melting due to high pressure is the inner core, which is at point D. So we will select option D here. Although this layer is made of solid iron and nickel, and despite temperatures exceeding the melting point, the extreme pressure keeps it in the solid state. So we will select option D here. Question number 16. The collision of India and Asia that formed the Himalayas is still colliding today, causing the mountain range to continue to rise. What keeps the mountain from getting too big? Option A is erosion, option B is volcanism, option C is deposition, option D is plate tectonics. So think of the Himalayas as a big pile of salt that you are building with your hands. So your hands pushing together are like the tectonic plates and they keep pushing the mountains taller. But as you build it higher, rain, water, and ice wash and blow the salt away from the top and sides. This is called erosion. So even though the plates are pushing the mountains up, but erosion is constantly wearing them down. So this stops the mountains from getting too big. So we will select option A here, erosion. Question number 17. Study the diagram below, which shows a cross-section of Earth's lithosphere and various plate boundary features, at which numbered location is an earthquake least likely to occur. So the earthquakes usually happen along plate boundaries because that's where tectonic plates interact. They can slide past each other, collide, and pull apart. So the diagram shows option A, location 1, which is interior of the continent far from plate boundaries. So this is the location which is far from the plate boundaries, so it is most stable and least likely to have the earthquakes. So that is our possible correct option, but let's check the other options as well. So in option B, we have location 2, which is subduction zone near the ocean trench. So it's where one plate goes under another one. So lots of earthquakes are expected here. So in option C, the location 3, it's beneath the overriding plate near rising magma. So here magma rises, so it is volcanic area. So that is definitely active area for earthquakes. So that is will not be chosen. Option D is the location 4, which is mid-ocean ridge, which is a divergent boundary. So again, the plates pull apart here, which can cause earthquakes. So we will select option A here. Question number 18. At which location on the map would a rainforest most likely to be found? The 4 options are given to us. So the rainforests are mostly commonly found near the equator due to the consistent high temperatures and heavy rainfall throughout the year. Based on the map locations provided, the location 3 is perfect for the rainforest, that is Amazon or Congo. So our option C is the correct option. Whereas the location 2, which is 20 degrees north, could have tropical wet dry climate or even deserts. So like India has monsoon but not typically rainforest. So location 1 is which is roughly 30 degrees to the north, mostly have dry areas like Sahara. And location 4 is 20 degrees to south, could have some tropical areas but not the main rainforest belt. So we will select option C here, location 3. Question number 19. For their science camp, students had to purify muddy river water using only natural materials. They created a layered filter with sand, charcoal, and small stones. The charcoal layer primarily functions to option A, remove large debris, option B, kill bacteria, option C is absorb impurities and odors, option D is add minerals to the water. So the charcoal in the water filter works like tiny sponge with lots of holes. Its main task is to soak up and trap the bad stuff or the stuff we cannot see, like bad smells, weird tastes, or some chemicals and dirt. So while the sand and stones stop the big bits of dirt, the charcoal cleans the water by just absorbing the invisible bits that make the water smelly or taste weird. This makes the water cleaner and nicer to drink. So we can say option C is the correct option here. And the option D is add minerals to the water, which is not right because charcoal does not add minerals. It may remove some minerals through absorption. So we will select option C here. Question number 20. Which of the following is the best evidence that Earth's continents were once in vastly different positions than they are today? Option A is penguins are found only in the southern hemisphere, which is not right because penguins live only in the south because they like cold weather, not because continents moved. Option B is fossils of tropical plants are found in Antarctica. Antarctica is now the coldest place on Earth, which is covered in ice. And the tropical plants, they only grow in hot and rainy jungles. So that proves that the Antarctica must have once been in a warm tropical part of the world, and now it has slowly moved to the south pole. So we can say our option B is the correct option here. Let's check the other options as well. Option C is volcanoes encircle the Pacific Ocean, which is not right because volcanoes around the Pacific are about geology, not past continent locations. Option D is major rivers from deltas from continental erosion. That is also not right because river forming deltas in the normal process of erosion that happens anywhere. So we will select the option B here, which is the correct option. Question number 21. The diagram below represents a natural event involving Earth's shadow that occurs in our solar system. Which natural event is shown in the diagram? So let's check our options. Option A is a meteor shower, which is not right because it involves meteors entering in Earth's atmosphere and does not involve shadows. Option B is high and low ocean tides, which is again incorrect because these tides are caused by gravitational forces from the moon and sun, not shadows. So option C is an eclipse. So the diagram describes a natural event involving Earth's shadow and the moon, which is characteristically of an eclipse. Specifically, during a lunar eclipse, Earth's shadow falls on the moon, and during a solar eclipse, the moon's shadow falls on the Earth. But here, it's about the lunar eclipse when the Earth's shadow and the moon is involved. So we can say that option C is our correct option. Let's read the option D as well. The comets orbiting the sun, which is unrelated to Earth's shadow and the moon. Question number 22. In which diagram would the force required to move the object up the ramp be the greatest? So we can see in option A, the surface is rough. So it will have more friction and it will be harder to move the object or push the object on the rough surface due to the friction. So it will require maximum amount of force to push the object. In option B, the surface is smooth. So relatively it will be easier to push the object on the smooth surface as compared to the rough surface because smooth surface will have less friction. In option C and D, we can see wheels with the object, so it will become easier to push the object on the rough surface and the smooth surface. So we can say in option A, we require maximum amount of force to push the object on the rough surface because it has maximum friction. So we will select option A here. Question number 23. The diagram below represents high and low ocean tides on Earth that are caused by the gravitational attraction of the moon on Earth's ocean. Due to Earth's rotation, the approximate amount of time between two consecutive high tides. So before checking the options, let's look at the diagram. Here the moon's gravity pulls water around it. It makes the high tide on one side of the Earth facing the moon. But there is also a high tide on the opposite side of the Earth because the solid Earth is pulled slightly away from the water there. So we can say that there are two high tides at the same time, one facing the moon and the other one is on the other side. As Earth rotates, a place on the coast will go through two high tides in about 1 day or 24 hours. So, if there are two high tides in roughly 24 hours, the time from one high tide to the next is about 12 hours. So, let's check our option one by one. Option A is 6 hours, which is not correct because it means that 4 high tides in 24 hours. So, that is not true. Option B is 12 hours, which is our correct option. Option C is 24 hours, which would mean that there is only one high tide per day. Option D is 48 hours. It means that one high tide every 2 days, which is not accurate. So we will select option B here. Question number 24. The table below shows some atmospheric data at different heights above Earth's surface for Paducah, Kentucky on June 2, 1990. The general relationship represented by the data is that as height above Earth's surface increases, then option A, both air pressure and air temperature decreases. Option B, both air pressure and air temperature increase. Option C, air pressure decreases and air temperature increases. Option D, air pressure increases and air pressure decreases. So if we look at the data table, it's quite clear when there is an increase in the height above Earth's surface, the air pressure and air temperature both are decreasing continuously. So we can select option A as our correct option. Question number 25. On a family trip in their new electric car, they noticed the estimated range decreased significantly when driving uphill and in cold weather. Both these conditions increase energy consumption because going uphill is like the car climbing a big slide. The motor has to work much harder and use a lot of battery power. And in cold weather, the battery does not work as well, and the car also has to use extra energy to warm up the inside. So both of these mean the car needs more power from the battery to keep moving. So let's check our option. Option A is battery efficiency decreases with altitude, which is not correct because battery efficiency is basically affected by temperature, not altitude alone. Option B is regenerative braking stops working, which is also not correct because regenerative braking may be less effective in cold weather but does not fully stop, and it is not the basic reason for range loss. Option C is they require more power from the battery. So this is our correct option because they need extra power from the battery due to cold weather and as the car is moving uphill. And option D is tire pressure changes dramatically, which is also not correct because the tire pressure can change in cold weather and increase rolling resistance, but this is the secondary reason as compared to the option C. So we will select option C here. Question number 26. When researching smartphone screens, Tara learned about pixels containing red, green, and blue subpixels that combine to create all colors. This color system works because the pixels in screens use red, green, and blue light. When you mix these colors of light, they can make almost any color we see on the screen. This is because red, green, and blue are the primary colors of light, and our eyes have receptors that detect these colors, and the brain mixes the signals to see the other colors. So let's check our option one by one. Option A is these are the primary colors of light, which is definitely true. But let's check the option B, C, and D as well. Option B is these colors are easiest to manufacture. It's not true because other colors could be manufactured too. Option C is human eyes see only these colors, which is incorrect because we see more than just red, green, and blue. We see mixtures too. Option D is these colors use least power, which is not the main reason. Power use depends on the technology, not that these are the only possible colors. So we will select option A here. Question number 27. A submarine floats in a closed water-filled tank. If it sinks to the bottom, what happens to the water level? Option A, it rises as the submarine pushes more water aside. Option B, falls as the submarine now displaces less water. Option C, stays the same as the total mass is unchanged. And option D is rises only if the submarine is made of metal. So when a submarine is floating, it pushes aside or displaces a lot of water, which is enough water to equal to its whole weight. This makes the water level higher. But when the submarine sinks, it no longer needs to displace water equal to its weight. It only pushes aside its own volume, which is less than the amount it displaced while floating. So when it sinks, it displaces less water and water level goes down. That's why the correct answer is option B, falls as the submarine now displaces less water. So we will select option B here. Question number 28. If you move twice as far from a flat mirror, what happens to the distance between you and your reflection? Option A is it doubles. Option B is it quadruples. Option C is it stays the same. Option D is it halves. A flat mirror creates a virtual image as far behind the mirror as you are in front of it. So if you stand 2 meters from the mirror, your image is 2 meters behind the mirror. So that means the distance between you and your image is 4 meters. So if you move to 4 meters from the mirror, your image is 4 meters behind the mirror as well. So the distance between you and your image is 4 plus 4 is equal to 8 meters. So originally the distance is 4 meters, but after moving it's 8 meters. That's twice of the original distance between you and your reflection. So we will select option A here, it doubles. Question number 29. If the sun suddenly vanishes, how long would it take for us to notice? Option A, instantly. Option B is 8 minutes. Option C is 16 minutes. And option D is it would be gradual over several hours. So if the sun were to suddenly vanish, we would not notice immediately because light and gravitational effects travel at the speed of light. The distance from the sun to earth is about 150 million kilometers, and light takes approximately 8 minutes to cover this distance. So therefore we will continue to see the sun and experience its gravity for 8 minutes after its disappearance. So after the time the sky would darken and we will no longer feel its gravitational pull. So it will take 8 minutes for us to notice that sun has vanished. Question number 30. A point source of light casts a sharp shadow on an object on a screen. If the object moves towards the light source, what happens to the shadow? Option A is it gets smaller and sharper. Option B is it gets smaller and blurrier. Option C is gets sharper and larger. Option D is it gets larger and blurrier. So if we take something away from the light source, the shadow that is going to be created will be smaller and sharper. But if we move the object towards the light source, the shadow will be larger and blurrier. So we will select option D here as we are moving the object away from the light source. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe the channel.